to do all this.
So we figure this mistake is going to cost you about $5,000. Yeah, that's what we figure. And look, it's terrible. It really is. It stinks. It is what it is. But I think
it's not so bad.
No, it's right. I think in the end it might turn out to be good. It kind of forces you to make a decision that I think will be a good one in the end.
So I was thinking about it during the commercial break. If she planned on replacing the heater anyway, yes, it's an extra $5,000. If she planned on keeping the heater, converting or keep using the oil, it's a different story. But from a point of replacing the heater to convert everything right now to forced air, even if you don't do AC, you can always add the AC at any time. If you only add
that's true too. It's only if you do the vents. If you don't
you do if you do returns and if you put the coils on top of the furnace.
Yeah.
If you put the coils top of the furnace, you can add AC whenever you want. But the point being is, if you planned on replacing the heater anyway, you talk about an extra $5,000 to $6,000 in ductwork. That's it. That's it. And the walls are already open, like Larry said.
Yeah. So I think in the end it's going to be okay for you. I mean, don't let it ruin your weekend.
No, don't.
I think that's the key here. All right.
Don't.
So I want to talk about a couple other things too. We talked about this covered.
We have a call first, no?
Oh, we do have a call.
We have a caller.
Is that Ian?
Tim.
Is that right? Oh, Tim. What's up, Tim? My eyes are going so bad. What's up, Tim?
Hey, Garrett. Thanks for taking my call. Great show, Larry. So what happened was our mother just passed away approximately 6 weeks ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
And she was rather successful. She lived a great life. It's a very tough time for us. Having said that, I inherited one property in Bucks County.
Okay.
There's no mortgage on the property because I believe my mom and dad bought it new in the late 70s.
Wow.
So I only have one sibling, and my sister, she's getting the other property, which my mom had also in Bucks County.
So the will says she gets one and you get the other one? Is that what happens?
Correct. We just went through all the legalities of it with
probate,
with the attorney that we hired. And, fortunately for me, the property is free and clear now. I obviously just got hit with I guess it's a 4% capital gains tax.
So inheritance
which amounted to inheritance tax. Excuse me. They sort of. It's not 4.5% as if you're selling it. It's I don't know what the percent was, but it came to about almost $15,000 in tax.
I don't remember. Okay. Look. So so I guess your question is what to do with the property, right?
Well, I'm hoping to keep it because there's no mortgage on it.
It's a good idea.
And it happens to be a duplex, so I have income from the other property.
Even a better idea, yeah.
I mean, from the other unit. So,
and if it's free and clear,
you can already for.
Oh wait, so you're living there now?
Yes, I've been living there for 20 years.
Okay.
There's no mortgage on the property. It just basically became mine, like literally last month.
Awesome.
Sure. So this is. Go ahead.
Of course, I had the home team discount from my mom from living there the last 20 years, taking care of the property. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, since I'm paying the tax already now, second tax run.
Tax? No, what do you mean tax?
No, he's talking about capital gains tax. You're not going to get capital gains tax.
I'm paying tax now out of the what do you call it?
Inheritance.
The estate. So he paid inheritance tax, which is correct.
Out of the will now.
Yeah, that's okay.
I've already paid it. Okay. So if I sell it this year, do I have to pay that again?
No. So the question that you're really asking is, do you have to pay capital gains tax if you sell it? And the answer is no, because you inherited at the step-up basis. So whatever it's worth today is what you inherited at that step-up basis. So whatever it's worth today is what you inherited at, and that's your tax basis. So if you sell it today for what it's worth today, you don't have to pay any capital gains tax. So you'll be okay.
but it also depends on the valuation of the property right now during the estate, correct?
No. So, well, you're not wrong, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not, because whatever it's worth today, it's worth today, right?
No, I understand, but if right now during the estate they decide that the property worth 200,000,
Right.
and tomorrow he sell it for 400,000.
Right.
No,
The
it doesn't work
renters-
that way.
No. Okay.
The attorneys. The attorneys went right there in the meeting,
Yeah.
and they actually looked up the property to get a basic value, and they actually based that tax on it by the comps from the neighborhood,
Okay.
which is over 400,000.
So right, so that's what the step up basis is. So it's fine. So here's my question: if you've lived in there for 20 years, you said,
That's correct.
do you want to move?
I don't think I want to move because I'm getting that extra check. I am in my 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have, like you were just talking about HVAC, the HVAC was replaced 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So the place is rent.
Okay, and you're getting $1,250 every month.
So I can obviously, yes, he's early every month. He's
No.
been there 6 years.
Yeah, I know.
He can refinance it at almost any time.
Right, so the only thing you got to understand, right? So I don't know his. It sounds like you're living off of Social Security.
You could say that check I was giving my mom up
Right.
until a few months ago.
Other
Yeah,
income at all
so-
besides Social Security?
I mean, I could go back to work if I had to, but
No.
I didn't go back to work because I've been taking care of my mom the last 4 years.
Right. Okay. And this is why
So-
I bring
I was
it
able
up.
to
So,
retire
So
at
you're a
62.
carer of the mother.
hold on.
Okay.
So when Omri could refinance this property and take a big chunk of money out of it. That's why I don't think it's a good idea.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Right.
Look, if you want to just come to investor school, we'll teach you that. Your life is set up in a certain, like refinancing this property, wrong with that money, which until you know what to do with that money, I don't think you should take it. So if you took $200,000 out of this property,
Right.
and if you make a mistake with the $200,000 and you no longer have it, you've really hurt yourself.
You seem in a very comfortable
Right,
place.
right. So
Yeah.
because you're in a comfortable place, and look, you have any kids?
No, the good part is I have no debt myself, and my Social Security check obviously is a lot smaller now than it was a couple years ago
sure.
from inflation. But since I have no mortgage, I just basically have to pay the taxes and the upkeep on the property.
Yeah, exactly, right.
The taxes are only like $3,500 a year.
And then did your mom leave you any other
So
money?
that should
Any
be-
money at all?
There was some money left, correct, that I
Okay.
did split with my sibling.
All right. I mean, if it's
And there
anything
was a
substantial,
life insurance policy.
if it's anything substantial, come here. We'll teach you some things to do with it. But if not, look, you have two choices, and it doesn't matter which one you take, but you got to take either one with
Right.
intention. In other words, you can't just say, "Hey, I'm going to take this choice. I changed my mind. I'm going to take this choice." Actually, that's not even true. The choice of staying there, not refinancing the house, which I recommend, you do not refinance the house.
Right.
Collecting your Social Security, collecting the
I
rent
have
from the
no
guy
mortgage.
upstairs. Yeah, right. Collecting the
Yeah.
money from the guy upstairs or downstairs, whatever it is, and you living your life out. You can do that one,
Right.
and you can also change to
Yeah.
the other one at any time, which is like come here and learn, right? Learn about investments, learn
Yeah.
about things to do. But if you come here and learn, I'm telling you what, if I sit down with you before I make you a student, we're going to have a really tough conversation because I ain't taking your money unless I know you're going to do it right. Because if you start out 3 months later, go, forget it. Now that I refinanced my house, I paid you, I did this, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. You can't go back to the other path. Okay, and that's the problem
Well, I am
have.
a listener. I've learned quite a bit from you three in the last year or two already.
Well,
So, a great show. I mean, I'm really not sure what to do, but I will keep that class in mind. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
Well,
Larry.
I tell you what I would do, Tim. Come here and meet us.
Yeah.
Come here, shake our hands, whatever. if it's something for you, it doesn't really matter to me if you do it or not. You come here for free for the first time anyway, and at least get to know us. And if you have some questions, you can grab me after class, and I'll be more than happy to answer the questions.
Yeah,
So,
don't come even as a student. Come to have fun one evening. Just come one evening and have fun. Come one evening out of the house and you will have fun. I promise you.
yeah. All right, Tim, we so appreciate you.
Appreciate that.
Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. And anybody else who's listening out there, if you have questions like that, feel free to call us because that's what we hear. That's what we do every day. And the phone number is
855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137.
We're having an interesting class today. This is kind of really, we had two situations.
I know.
One with and what I realized, we talked about the fact. I think you guys got a better perspective of how I handle them, and it's interesting because as like I go into hibernation, not really hibernation, but I keep it inside for a day or two because I want. This would go. Oh, freaking Eric took all the heaters out of my unit, and then you'll start to give me advice. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
Because I can't talk about it right now because I need to process it. And in my processing, I'm like, okay, what do I do now? And we now went over the choices with Dr. Deb on what to do, so that's a good thing too. And and as a coach, so I'm basically coaching myself. It's what things that I see all the time. So I'm coaching people in real estate. I'm coaching people in the stock market. People make mistakes, and now we have next. Not how make that mistake.
No, but that's the thing.
You can't do that.
You don't. While you're processing it, it doesn't affect your life. You can go home and go to sleep and do all that.
That's a tough thing for a lot of people, and you have to understand. There are people go through life with all kinds of problems, and they wake up, and it's like PTSD. Now, I've had my version of PTSD. I've never been in the military. It's not what I'm talking about. But I've had my version of PTSD with things that's happened to me in my life. And I think probably because of those things,
that's what affects.
I stopped caring. Now, when I say when I shouldn't say the word stop caring, I really do care. I stopped letting things affect my life. So it's it's become different now. Everybody has their own tolerance of how to deal with things. Dr. Deb is actually pretty tolerant now. I know you had some issues with some former properties. Omri, you go crazy sometimes, and that's okay. And look, I have my moments too, so it's all right. These things are going to happen. It's going to happen to you guys. It's going to happen to our students. It's going to happen to you in general.
Correct.
It's not just financial. It's not just real estate. It could be a divorce. It could be something bad happening to your child. It could be It could be just about anything. So,
and with that, we want to remind that for certain people that have difficulty to deal with those situations, there is a method to invest in real estate and not worry about those things at all.
You went. That's pretty funny. You went there. I was actually going to go and say, look, listen, there's nothing in life that's so bad that you need to end your life either. Okay, so don't ever go in that direction. So this is just a quick public service announcement, right?
Yeah.
If you need to reach out to somebody because something's so bad that you think you can't handle it, I promise you that the next day it's not as bad as it was the day before. I promise you. So sleep on it, talk to somebody. Don't ever think that life is so bad that you need to say goodbye to life, because that's the absolute worst thing you could do. And I rant about this all the time. It's not that people say it's selfish. I don't even think it's selfish. I think it's extremely mean to anyone that knows you. Because anyone who knows you, because it just happened to us before. We had a student who was a friend of all of us.
Yes.
And he felt he couldn't handle life anymore and decided to end it. And I was angry, and I was angry at him because he affected so many people. So many people were upset at this, so I was angry at him. So it was mean when my process, the way I thought, my thought process was, I wasn't sad for him. My thought process was I was extremely angry at him for hurting so many people.
We didn't know.
No, I know.
I worked with him every day.
I know.
I didn't know.
I know.
You didn't see on people sometimes.
Nothing. There was no signs whatsoever. No signs whatsoever. And we don't even know what happened that day to trigger it. because he had a meeting with one of our coaches in the morning. And everything
yeah.
was fine, and we have no idea what triggered it, but something triggered it 2 hours later, and we don't know what it was. But I only brought that up because I went in that direction because I want to let everybody know that there's nothing in life worth ending your life for. Nothing. All right? So
I look at it differently. I say to everybody that I know, you don't have right to take life, even your own.
fair enough.
And that's referred to the fact that you didn't brought yourself to this world.
Yeah.
You have no right to take yourself out of this
That's
world.
interesting.
It's harsh.
Yeah,
I know it's harsh because it's too judgmental to mental situation. But if you know that, and if it go into your mind, you understand that it's as hard as as hard as it gets. I don't have the right to do that.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, look, we kind of like went off like really interesting.
Listen,
places.
these 2 hours were the biggest roller coaster ever.
Right, exactly. I agree. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was amazing, amazing events. All right, so we still have 5 minutes.
Yes, we do.
You know,
I saw Glenn typing. I was curious.
So I have to ask you a question now.
Do.
Because speaking of like bad things and all that, so am I concerned about your parents right now?
I am concerned about my parents. I wouldn't be concerned about my parents if I would still live in Israel right now. It's funny how the mindset changes when you look at things from here, because there's going to be there was 3 attacks, I think, from Iran so far, and
they're not going to stop.
No,
they're angry.
So it's going to
they
be.
They poked the bear.
It's going to be very big tonight, and that's basically in an hour or 2 or 3 or something like that. And in every house, in every apartment, every house in Israel, there is a shelter. If it's built until after 91 or something like that,
okay.
All of them has shelters inside. Maybe 95, I don't remember. And my parents has one, and my sister have one, and that's fine. But we saw in the last few days that people are still there was still occasions of ballistic missiles slamming a building.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful.
So it's a problem. I hope for the best. And you know it's how people call us when they hear that something happened, like the attack of the illegal immigrant in Colorado a few weeks ago. Okay, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm explaining to them, I'm in Pennsylvania. This happened in Colorado. It's not Israel. It's a very big place.
Yeah, sure.
And people don't understand that. Israel is a pretty small place. Israel, it's very easy to compare to New Jersey.
Right.
And with that, if you
I think New Jersey's longer.
It could be that has more people even.
I mean, I think it's but end to end, I think New Jersey is longer than Israel.
If you think about 10 million people, and you think about the size and all that, when something happened in New Jersey, I think everybody who lives in New Jersey almost knows about that.
Right.
And that's why it's different. We don't get it. And for us right now, when we look at that, the only way to think is how we live that way. Because there was always something. We had missiles. I grew up to this craziness, and we didn't care so much. But now we are here. We see different life, and we say nobody should live like that. And I will tell you more, especially my kids.
Yeah, well, that's why you came here. Yeah, and it's
especially
funny
my
because I know I know you're still working through your immigration papers because you're a legal immigrant
every second,
and you're doing everything legally. But I don't understand why you can't say, hey, I want asylum.
Maybe I can and maybe I don't. I don't want to do that. I already chose a different path.
No, I know that, but
but
just,
it's like.
Right, but if somebody in Israel, like I just don't want to be part of being bombed every other month.
So let's go back to the guy who came from Egypt and attacked those people in Colorado. He came here from the country gave him a temporary approval to stay and even a work authorization, but at some point it got revoked.
Okay.
What's going on right now in Egypt that the United States give people asylum?
I don't really know.
It's insane. So right. I don't want to choose. I don't want to. I
think that's just somebody abusing the system, and that didn't come in through Trump because Trump would never let.
And I refuse to abuse the system.
Right, but I'm not talking about abusing the system. I'm just curious to know why that doesn't work. But okay, just maybe you had an insight.
Me too. I'm curious, and believe me, I want the people that are important for me here next to me very much.
Right.
But
I also think that Right.
But
But I also think that I think that Israel really poked the bear this time. It's you look. Do they have the right to do what they did? Absolutely. You know, and it's funny because now if you equate this to Hamas attacking in the park, you know, and you know the people.
Correct.
Disgusting, right?
It's a terror.
Right. But their thoughts were, hey, if we attack, maybe we'll get some relief.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Israel, at least they attacked a military base, and I believe there were no fatalities. Correct? When Israel attacked, there was very few fatalities.
You talk about Iran now or Hamas?
No, when Israel attacked Iran.
Israel started the attack only on bases.
Right.
Yeah, missile factories.
Right. And there were very few casualties, if any.
Correct.
If I remember
and now,
so they did it saying, hey, listen, we're trying not to hurt people.
Yeah.
We're just trying to protect ourselves. But just like you know, Israel retaliated on Hamas, which they again had every right to. Iran is probably thinking, hey, we have every right to retaliate on Israel because they started this.
The problem is Iran don't acknowledge the existence of Israel.
All right. Unfortunately, we have only 30 seconds left, and we have to say goodbye now.
I
appreciate your insight on that. Hey, listen, I appreciate all the callers. I appreciate you, Dr. Dev, for being here. I appreciate you, Omri, for only to him is because he's here. And you were here before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.